Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Ace Attorney. Last episode we had called Oldbag's attention to the fact that this is the second photo. The computer only held data for one photo that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo number 1, if it really was the only photo? Order! Order! Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright. Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not one, but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet there is only data for one of the photos. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access. The security lady herself. That went by too fast. You watch your mouth, whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Will Powers. But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means 2 people went by. Well, yes, that's what it would seem to mean. Can the witness explain this to the court? I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy. Help. But believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either. Edgeworth is so done with this case. Some help you are. You're a whippersnapper too. She turned on him immediately. Whippersnapper. Is something the matter, Miss Oldbag? Ah, that's right. I just remembered something. Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate, or someone other than the Steel Samurai. Well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way. Yeah, I see. Your testimony, please. The other person. Here, tongue-tied. Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one more important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security camera, or on the security computer, and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out a photo that day. Miss Oldbag, this is the first I've heard of this. Well, of course, Sonny, I've only just remembered it. Right. Anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination. Well, I'd say this was a turn for the unexpected, but I kind of expected this. Yeah, same, Maya, same. Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded right. I don't need to reread these. I can just press everything. Another job? That's right. I check all the people that passed by the main gate that day. I look closely at every one of the photos that security camera takes. Do you back up all of the security camera data? Well, they keep telling me to, yes. But those computers are just so frustrating. And how exactly do you determine what is and isn't suspicious looking? Oh, you can tell by by looking at their faces for the most part. For the most part. This is a murder trial, Miss Oldbag. Well, I didn't touch that suspicious looking Will Powers photo, did I? I think she's missing the point. Come to think of it, right. Let's press this statement because we've pressed all the other ones. Yeah, we've pressed all the other ones. We've just got this one to press. Well, who in the heck was in that photo you erased? A fanboy. Fanboy? Steel Samurai fanboys, real freaks if you ask me. They get information about the rehearsals from gosh knows where. Then they're always hanging about one was there that day. Well, wait a second. Didn't you just say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Those were your words. Well, if you must know, there's a drain that goes into the employee area. The grate has been loose for a while. It leads outside, and well, that's where they come in. They come in through the drain. I told you they were freaks. Oh, and they're kids. Children. Whippersnappers. Kids? So, on the photo you erased, it was a boy, probably 2nd or 3rd grade. What? Order. Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studios that day. One was the Steel Samurai dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked to be in about 2nd or 3rd grade. Oh yes, well, we see his type there every day. Can't stop him, can't catch him. A boy in the 2nd or 3rd grade, I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear. Impossible, I'd think. It's quite heavy. Right. As I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I erased the data. Nick, what's going on? I mean, the boy was there. That makes him a suspect. Yeah, and they're already trying to unsuspect him. The court will take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time. Mr. Powers. Yes? Tell me straight. Were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio? I didn't go to the studio. I was sleeping. Honest. So, who was the Steel Samurai in that security photo? How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really. What? You should take better care of that stuff. I couldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a Steel Samurai costume. So, where does this leave me? It doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now. Nick. Well, what are we going to do? First, we play for more time. We'll start targeting someone else that could conceivably have done this. Right. And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day. Right, but if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound very optimistic. I'm not optimistic at all, actually. Hey, Nick, it's time. Okay, let's go. What does that mean? Please don't sigh like that. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thoughts on the matter? The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. That's a big jump. Second or third grade, it means the kid would be about 7 or 8. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there is no one else who could have committed this crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant. Very well. Mr. Wright, your thoughts. The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed this crime. Order. Interesting. Let us hear who you have in mind. However, be aware this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized. Right, great. As if the stakes weren't high enough. So, who was this person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed the murder? Easy. It couldn't have been the assistant, and it couldn't have been the kid. It has to be Wendy Oldbag. It was the security lady, Wendy Oldbag. Who? The Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in this picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. The only person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury, the security lady, Oldbag. What? Whippersnapper? Order. Is this true, Oldbag? Oldbag? That's Miss Oldbag to you. Miss Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume. She slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder. Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume? It's simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in his costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright. Oh, yeah, right here. Sherlock Holmes number 2. And the game is patting itself on the back a little bit much. That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump up with an objection? And some new damning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time. What? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I did it, is that it? Edgy boy, don't just stand there, don't just sit there, do something. What's my move? Maybe now's my chance to take this the whole way. Okay. The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Oldbag's actions that day. But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer? You forget that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive too. Indeed. That did it. Now, Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope. Wait, just a minute. What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy. The one whose photo I erased. He's only a grade schooler, though, as you said. 2nd or 3rd grade, was it? That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds tops. Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? That boy is not the killer. What? How can you be so sure? Or is it be nice to... Oh, wait. No, that actually does make sense. That's not a typo. Okay. Oh, or is it be nice to the kids and mean to your elders day, whippersnapper? I have proof. Proof? Indeed. Then let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows that the boy could not have committed the murder. Yeah, quite easily. The murder weapon was the steel samurai spear. That very spear is shown here in this photo. How could the boy have taken this spear? It's impossible. I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this? Sorry, I pronounced that wrong. Murph. The windbag, speechless. It has to be, and this has got to be a first. Very well. The court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Wendy, what was her name? Something Oldbag, Your Honor. And then the prosecution will look further into this old bag before we continue. This is all. This court is adjourned. Well, wait a second. I'm not going to sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me. I'm talking. Oh, great. Stop the presses. The windbag wants to talk. Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony? Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about. Not to talk about? By whom? You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk? Well, testify. My lips were sealed. Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been at the studio that day. If you're going to go accusing me, I'm not letting them get off scot-free. Miss Oldbag, this is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now? Ain't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told. That's BS. No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the old bag. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Okay. So, you were told not to talk. That's right. By the studio, and the TV bigwigs, no less. Why didn't I hear about this? Don't be too hard on yourself, Sonny. We were all in on it. Okay, who were these other people then? Who were these people? Well, the director and the producer for starters. The director. We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action scene without a director? Of course. Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it. So, where were these people? The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime and they had a meeting after that. Where? Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer. Studio 2? There was a Studio 2? Phoenix, did you look at the map? Well, if you look at the guide map, here it is. Big and hard to miss. You go through the gate and all the way to the left. The path where the monkey's head was fallen over. Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue cross-examination? I think I've already asked all my questions, but this is the game saying, we know enough to continue. Would you like to keep questioning her, though? We have learned that there were others at Global Studios on the day in question. The director and the producer and some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. The court acknowledges the defense's point. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Oldbag, and more information about these other people we have just been told of. More work for Edgeworth and Gumshoe. Yay! I understand, Your Honor. This ends the day's proceedings in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. This court is adjourned. Again. Finally. Ah. But thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me. Aw, really, it's nothing. There's grin as a sound effect. How even? Oh, or should I tried to do the sniff. I don't think the mic picked it up. Maybe it did there. Maybe. We'll be going down to the studios to do some more investigating. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witnesses for certain. So now's my chance to get information, to get material for cross-examination. So, Nick, have we figured out just who it was in that Steel Samurai costume? Could it really have been old Windbag? What do you think, Mr. Powers? I don't think it was her, really. Neither do I, Nick. Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off Mr. Powers. Poor old Windbag. I feel kinda sorry for her, but not sorry enough to get her name correct. Well, she wasn't winning any points there, with or without my accusation. Well, let's get down to the studios. Right. we'll be back to visit you soon. And on that note, thanks guys, sniff. Yeah, I'm just gonna read the damn sound effects. Right, to be continued, and on that note, it's saved already, but I will save over it, because why not? Okay. On the next episode, we will investigate. See you then. I've been Wisemimir. If you liked this video, please leave me a like, a comment, or a subscribe. It really helps me out.